Escalating fight over diversity in business. It involves the Fearless Fund, which is the first venture capital fund built by women of color for women of color. According to the fund, just 0.39% of venture capital funding goes to businesses started by women of color. The Fearless Fund was founded in 2019 to help close that gap by providing funding and support to Black female founders.
But now it's facing a lawsuit by the American Alliance for Equal Rights. That's a group founded by the conservative activist who was behind the effort to end affirmative action in college admissions. Now, this suit alleges that the fund's Fearless Strivers Grant Contest is, quote, their words, a racially discriminatory program that blatantly violates the Civil Rights Act's guarantee of race neutrality because its $20,000 grant prizes are only open to Black women. We are joined now by Fearless Fund co-founder and CEO. Her name is Ariane Simone. This is her first interview since the lawsuit was filed against her company. Good morning to you, Ariane Simone. Good to have you here at the table.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So what was your first thought when you heard that you and your partners were being sued?
My initial thought, I didn't think that this was real, but once I realized that it was, I was aware that it was definitely an attack to dismantle and address our economic freedom as people of color. But I knew the moment it happened that we would continue to do the amazing work that we do.
You didn't think it was real. What did you think it was? What did you think?
When the emails came through, I honestly thought it was ChatGPT.
You did?
Yeah.
You thought maybe you were being punked somehow?
Yes.
So now that you know that it is real, what's your response? What are you all planning to do?
Oh, our response is simple. We plan to continue to do the work that we do for women of color. As you stated before, women of color are the most founded entrepreneurial demographic. They are just the least funded.
Why do you think that is? I mean, when I read the number, Ariane, I thought I was reading it wrong because the number was so low. Less than 1%.
Yes, a fraction of a percent.
Yes.
I think even beyond racism and sexism, there is something called proximity. The investors in the venture capital field, 92% of them are white male. I'm a strong believer that if we can diversify the investors, we can diversify the investments.
Now, we mentioned that number, 0.39%, and some may listen and say, well, that's something. But according to the fund in 2022, capital firms deployed $288 billion. So that fraction of 1%, it doesn't make sense when it comes to Black women being funded. I never really understood how someone who had a head start in the race would look at those behind them and try to trip them up. What is your message to those that are looking to trip you up?
Oh, our message is clear. Our corporate partners stand by us. MasterCard, Bank of America, Ally Bank, JP Morgan Chase, and many others.
What have you heard from them?
Oh, we've been in touch with all of our investors. They stand by their DEI programs. They stand by their commitments that they've made post-George Floyd to the Black community. They are in agreement with the work that they have done and the work they are doing with us.
Ariane, what do you, however admirable what do you say to people who say, look, however admirable your goal, however necessary the work you're doing, the law is just not on your side. The law says racial discrimination is bad in all contexts.
And then people argue it still is not fair.
Well, it's definitely, I would say, unfortunate that things can be twisted. I can't get into the details of the lawsuit, but what I can say that certain laws were definitely put in place to offer economic freedom for people of color, and somehow things can be getting misconstrued.
What are you hearing? Oh, go ahead, Tony.
Well, I was just going to say that the part of the reason why this conservative activist Edward Bloom is pursuing this is because he just won this big affirmative action case. Right. In which he got a ruling from the Chief Justice, written by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, in which he says eliminating racial discrimination means eliminating all of it. This kind of program that you have, quote, demeans the dignity and worth of a person to be judged by ancestry instead of merit.
Well, the problem is this program wouldn't even exist if there wasn't a need for it. The reason why the program exists is due to the racial disparities that exist in venture capital.
What are you hearing, or what have you done for the businesses? What do the businesses say that you've invested in so far? Because, Ariane, when I heard $20,000, I went, well, that may not seem like a lot of money.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Jesus, I think we get it. I don't want to play the whole video. That's on CBS. I don't want to get in no trouble. That's a lot of video I'm playing. Damn, it's almost a whole segment. Check this out. Some dirty people, ain't they? Them folks dirty. Them folks dirty. Edward Bloom in the American Alliance for Equal Rights for whites. So there's the Fearless Fund, right? That helps everybody. It does all types of stuff, right? Helps you land contracts, a lot of cool shit. But the Fearless Strives grants is the 10 to 20 grand that they give you to women of color. You know how long 10 to 20 grand lasts you? Not long. It's great to get started. Now, there are a lot of stipulations. Okay, it's not just giving everybody money. Okay, anybody and everybody. You got to be a certain size. You got to be early startup. You know, there are things you got to have in place in order to qualify for the grant. And that still wasn't enough for Edward Bloom and his crew. It wasn't everybody. You know, it's a puny. Okay? You up and running, you got 20 employees, and you've been in business for 3 years. They ain't doing this for you. Okay? This is for early startups. Someone wants to start a t-shirt company. Someone wants to start a cupcake company. Someone wants to start a cleaning business. So whatever it is, right? An advertising agency, a digital advertising agency, whatever it is, right? Hopefully something with low overhead that you can actually do without investing a lot of capital, that you can do without getting space. That makes sense with $10,000 to $20,000, right? A business like this, by the way, I mean, go get a mic, get you a camera, DSLR. You can do that with $1,000 and be good to go. Bump a background. You can blur it out now with software till you make this business pay for itself. But the thing is this, guys. The thing is this. There are so few venture capitalists that lend money to Black people in general. Okay, in general. I know this thing is they're focusing on women and women of color, which I hate that term. I hate that term, okay? You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that. But okay, it's what it is. Maybe there are reasons why they did that, okay? Maybe there's reasons why they did it, so I'm not going to knock it. All I'm saying is, I hate women of color, I hate people of color. I'm Black. Okay? It's what it is. You can see it. We already were getting our asses kicked by dogs and lynched and hung from trees before they even came to America. By the time they came, civil rights was already over. Most of them. They came and they was like, hey, it's nice. Thanks a lot, Blacks. So that's why I don't like it, because it's not the same. But okay. I get it. It's not my choice. Just want to keep it real. The Fearless Fund is a good thing, though. It's a good thing. What's not a good thing is you have people like Edward Bloom trying to shut shit down. And he's got the civil rights lawsuit that he's bringing against the Fearless Fund. The lawsuit alleges the Fearless Fund engages in racial discrimination by operating the Fearless Starves grant, which has awarded 10 to 20 grand in business loans to early stage Black women-owned businesses. And it wants to see Black people twerking. It wants to see Black women twerking and working for other people. They don't want to see you starting businesses. During the pandemic, you know who started most businesses? Black women. Not women of color, Black women. They took their money and they went and did stuff with it. They started a business with it. We don't have a lack of ingenuity, a lack of creativity, a lack of ideas, a lack of heart. We have a lack of resources. Whenever we try to get resources, even if it's our own goddamn resources, here comes somebody like this guy, and let's face it, this guy, Edward Bloom, he's the face of this organization, but believe this, he's got big money behind him that's backing what he's doing. This ain't just some cranky old redneck. Edward Bloom is a lawyer. He's got the backing of a lot of right-wing organizations that like life the way it is. Blacks on the bottom, whites on top of blacks. However that works out. That's what they want. And you'll prize success out of their dead, cold hands. All right, let's go to the truth booth. Truth booth. Okay, I look at it like this, guys. You want to understand this a little bit better? Understand this. Let's say this for the people that are on the fence. We got some people of color. some women of color, some men of color. Hate that term, but okay. Hey, Tim, this is discrimination. Okay, first of all, my friend, it's not discrimination. What it is, it's salvation. It is called survival. Okay? HBCUs were founded because of what? White people didn't want to go to school with us. We had to go to school somewhere. So we created a place for us to go to school where we would not get rocks and dogs sicked on us and have adults spitting on our students going to school. And still, we got ignorant white people because they don't want their white kids to understand history. Do you think those white kids that are ignorant as hell on the internet understand anything about history? Do you think they really understand the reason why there was black shit? There's only black shit because white people didn't want black people in their shit. There was only a BET because MTV wouldn't play black TV, black people. Then when we started our own thing, we get constant complaints of, why are you doing your own thing? They'd rather we just die. That's what they'd rather we do. If you don't want us to play ball with you, we play ball with you, so get out of here, Blackie. I don't want you playing ball with us. Then we play ball by ourselves. If we get too good at it and it's going too well, hey, you try to break it up. Say, come on, Blackie, you can play. Few you guys play with us. To destroy the Negro Leagues. That's what happened to the Negro Leagues. Black people going to the games, nobody getting spit on, nobody being called N-word, no one crying at the baseball plate, no one having to endure slur after slur. And everybody up there sweating like a Pepsi at a barbecue on a summer's day. Happy and segregated. And we would thought integration was going to be good because somebody thought we get treated like you, but we weren't. So two things. How does this tie into the Fearless Fund? That's why it's not discrimination, dum-dum. It's the necessity. 0.39% of the funding for venture capital funds goes to black women. Black women starting businesses is a good thing. Obviously, white people don't want to fund it, or they would fund it. I've covered this so many times, y'all. I covered this so many times. I remember telling folks, you know, when you see this Shark Tank shit, you see Shark Tank? So you got to understand, that is mind control. A lot of what you see on TV is mind control, to mess with your head, baby. Yeah, it makes black people think that all white people got money when they don't. Most of America's full of a bunch of poor-ass white people. They living probably better than the poor-ass black people, but they're still poor as hell. You don't see that a lot on TV. There's one show called Shameless, and they still had a house. They weren't even living in the projects, the PJs. Well, see, Shark Tank is a big-ass lie, because what Shark Tank does is they pretend that black people actually get loans and shit. Man, I covered this months ago. You ain't know about me, man. I've been here for 13 years. I'm sorry the algorithm don't like you. It hates me. But it hates you too, because you should have been got this information. 93% of all venture capital goes to white guys. You would never know that if you watch Shark Tank. Because Shark Tank, every fifth episode, has somebody black coming in there with a decent idea, sometimes a good idea, sometimes a horrible idea. But they're getting money. And Damon John is sitting there like, hey, let me get this money to you. Let me help you out. That's not reality. In reality, you would have to watch 94 episodes to see one black company get funded. That's reality. So you would have to sit through 2 years of Shark Tank if it came on 5 days a week. Shit. Once a week. You have to watch it for 2 years to see one black person get one loan. And that probably don't work out like a Shark Tank. Like half this shit don't even go through. So it's all mind control what you get. That's what it is. And do you think the average person really knows what I just told you? Hell nah. So Mark Cuban's full of shit. Damon John's full of shit. That guy, Mr. Wonderful, ain't so fucking wonderful. Even the woman with the real estate, full of shit. because all perpetrating a lie to the American public. So it's important to have the fearless fund. Why? Because somebody got to do it. I don't care if it's $100. Take that $100 and flip that $100. I remember them dreams. Remember them dreams? You ever had them dreams, brother? Sister? Huh? I'm going to take this $100. I'm going to buy this. Flip that and make two. I'm going to go back and do. I'm going to do. Those dreams. They don't want you having dreams, man. No, they're fine with you having dreams. Just as long as they involve working for them, being underpaid. See, we be acting up because we be wanting stuff. We want autonomy. We want to do what we want to do. We've been celebrating Juneteenth for all this time. We ain't need white people to make it a holiday, especially an unpaid holiday too. I got one of them. It's called every other Friday. Cheers. So here's my analogy. If I create a football team for overweight kids with asthma, there'll be some racist Republican going, why can't my kid play with your teams? Why come I can't play in the fat kid asthma league? Even though that kid is healthy, in shape, and don't have asthma. They'll still be like, why come my kid can't play with the asthma team? I want my kid to play with the asthma team. He likes eating chocolate ice cream and cake too. Why? Go play with this. There's lots of teams for kids that don't have asthma and aren't overweight. You go play with them. We need this league for the kids that can't play in the other league because the other league don't want them. That's sort of what the fearless fund is. Make sense? I mean, it's diabolical. It's evil even. It's evil as hell, and that's what it is. Yeah. I think they hate fat kids with asthma. Oh, you want to tell me they're trying to help fat kids with asthma? Oh. No, they're not. They're not trying to help anybody. What they're trying to do is hurt people. They want to hurt the people. They don't like these sisters. They don't like these sisters having the gumption to do it themselves. They don't like the threats of black people being autonomous, man. I mean, I just covered the Tulsa earlier today. If you missed that, go watch my Tulsa video. You know, they kicked that case out. That was another instance where we're saying, hey, Tulsa massacre, a bunch of black people decided they're going to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and then some bigots came in, burnt their shoes. We say, hey, well, we need you to replace the shoes. They said, what shoes? Ask again, I'll crack you upside the head. That's how America works. So the fearless fund is a great thing, and it needs to continue and needs people to support it. Edward Bloom is the son of a BI, but remember, once again, remember, we ain't going to just focus on the individual. Remember, Edward Bloom, he is funded by white, right-wing organizations and billionaires. He is doing their bidding. He ain't nothing but the front guy, racist enough, willing to go in front of the cameras, willing to put his name on all these lawsuits. They want to punish black people and put them back in chains. 0.39. Not even half a percentage point. Not even 0.5% of the venture capital money. 0.39. And that's up. Whatever the hell it was before they started trying to help. It moved like a quarter of a digit or something because of these sisters. And that's when they say, oh, God, we got to stop this. We got to go out here and file this paperwork. We can't have this happening. They're almost at 1 cent, Johnson. They almost got 1%, Johnson. We can't have this. Oh, no, blacks.